It's a predictions bonanza this week. We talk about how injuries are plaguing multiple promotions in the world of professional wrestling, and we check in with Dan, see how he's healing from the injuries from last week's show. This time on Wrestling with the Business. From the palatial Insane Game Studios in beautiful Saratoga Springs, New York, I'm the varsity athlete Jeremy Bodette, and I'm joined as always by my fellow horsemen, the picturesque Adam Perry, Matthew More Than Man Lambert, and the GM of Insane Games, the man himself, Dan Shevlin. As always, we're going to take you through the world of professional wrestling, the ins and outs, the high spots, and the chair shots of the world of professional wrestling. Let's not waste any time this week because we got a lot going on.
Was he talking shit in between the intros?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he
throws out the intro, talks shit, and then he comes in with the second intro. Meanwhile, I can't say a word.
A little slow on the uptake there. Come on, man.
I'm ready for round two. Are you ready for round two, Matt? Let's go.
Ring that bell.
I don't need to say shit today.
All right, well, now that I've been rudely interrupted, let's jump into SmackDown this week. SmackDown came from the University of South Carolina. That's Columbia. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on commentary as per usual. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa came out with Paul Heyman to cut a promo. Let me tell you, nobody burns time like these guys. It took 6 minutes from the start of the show to his first word. I timed it out. 6 minutes. Basically, ZKO came out immediately. The Usos came out to attack ZKO to defend their tribal chief, and Reigns got mad at him for it because he wanted to be the big dog. 16 minutes and 30 seconds got burned up doing that. 16 minutes. Hour and a half worth of wrestling. I'm sorry. Yeah, hour and a half worth of wrestling, 16 minutes. Brawling Brutes, Butch and Ridge Holland came out and took on Pretty Deadly in their premiere. I can tell you, Elton Pierce got a bloody nose. They immediately cut to commercial, and when he came back, his nose was fine. So perhaps this is...
TV magic.
Yeah, perhaps this is an attempt to kind of undo some of the color that the show's been getting in the last few weeks. Solid match, no botch spots, no high spots. Pretty Deadly goes over after a pretty good heel move. Looks like they're doing the heel angle. So
Yeah, they always have.
They did a very nice tribute to superstar Billy Graham, which was clearly cobbed together at the last minute. They only had about 24 hours. There was a lot of really old footage in there, but it was very good and well-deserving. So. Segment 3, Asuka versus Zelina Vega. Very bad match. They did some fun roll-up reversals in the middle of the ring, but it was just botch after botch after botch after botch. It was botch city. It was a joke. Of course, Asuka goes over because she's going to take on Belair for the Raw Women's title at the Premium Live event this week, but it wasn't very interesting at all. We saw the premiere of the Grayson Waller effect. He had AJ Styles on. It was very boring. Very standard AJ Styles promotion. Nothing particularly interesting going on there.
That's what I heard. This new talk segment, it's nothing to it.
It's filler. It's not very interesting. I mean, some of the other talk segments have been interesting in the past.
Piper's Pit.
Piper's Pit and so forth. Was he the first Piper's Pit? Was that the first?
First one with any notoriety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Piper was just Piper.
And he was Piper, so it worked.
Yeah, so.
The Street Profits... That would be Ford and Dawkins, took on this cobbled-together tag team, LA Knight and Rick Boogs, which I'm now calling Night Boogs, after the Bob Seger song. Good story in the match. Boogs got some good push. Man, he's a great wrestler. He's one of those guys that's just getting buried by the roster. He's fun to watch.
You totally missed Boogie Nights?
Yeah, I didn't.
Come on, man.
I thought of both. I thought Night Boogs. I'm going to go with Seger over Disco. Come on, man. And then, of course, after the Street Profits went over, Knight turns on Boogs. Match is over. Knight's going for the heel angle. Karrion Kross and Scarlett cut a promo calling out AJ Styles. They're going to have a match next week, apparently, on the eve of Night of Champions. The NXT Women's Tag Team title holders came on to have their premiere. Who I'm now calling, it's Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who I'm now calling Fire Isla. Like Fire Island? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
Got it.
It's a non-title match. Why are NXT people that are making their premiere squashing? They had a couple nobodies in there.
Because the main roster doesn't know who they are.
I don't know why are they squashing it. Doesn't they're the title holders and they have to squash. Doesn't make any sense to me. They announced that because Liv Morgan got injured, Liv Rod is going to have to vacate the tag titles. So there's going to be a fatal 4-way next week to decide who the new champs are. It's going to be Rodriguez and spoiler, Shotzi, who you learn on Monday night, versus Baszler, Rousey, Damage Control, minus Dakota Kai, and DeVille Green. Both Liv Morgan and Dakota Kai received injuries that required surgery. But I can talk about that later. A lot of injuries out there. Austin Theory promo calls out Sheamus and Lashley. Sheamus stomps him, and then the main event was Escobar and Mysterio from LWO versus the Usos. Good story, but there's really no heat surrounding the Bloodline. I'm sorry, all the heat is surrounding the Bloodline story. LWO is just kind of coming off really bad, kind of pawns in the end. So ZKO comes out to distract the ref and take out Jimmy Uso. LWO goes over. ZKO is apparently heels now. I don't know, whatever. And the tribal chief is not happy. And that's how the episode ended. A lot happened, but not a lot related to the live event coming up. And kind of boring. 2 out of 5. Nothing new there. So after that, Raw.
All right, Monday Night Raw from Hershey, Pennsylvania on Monday, May 22nd. My mom's birthday. So,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yes. All right, so Raw opens up with the infamous moments earlier. We see Brock Lesnar ambushing Cody Rhodes as he comes in, and they start playing up this arm injury. Later in the show, they confront each other. You see Cody Rhodes with his arm heavily iced, and he goes to fight Brock Lesnar. He puts him into a Kimura lock to get off the illusion that Cody Rhodes is now going to fight Brock Lesnar with a broken arm. So we go to our first match, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, kicking off Monday Night Raw, 8 minutes, 35 seconds. Good match to kick off Raw. Exciting match, a good big guy, small guy, what you would expect. Bronson Reed gets the win. They're pushing him pretty heavy. Speaking of pushing heavy, match number 2, Zoe Stark versus Candice LeRae. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Zoe Stark getting, again, more of a push. Gets the win. Match number 3, Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Alpha Academy kind of getting some love, finally, this week. With a good win over the Viking Raiders.
When's the last time the Raiders won? It's been a long time, not since WrestleMania.
Yeah. I was...
They're jobbers now.
No, they've never really been that high on the team list.
They got a good push early, but you're right, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the football team. I was like, when was the Raiders?
When's the last time the Raiders won? They've been good recently.
That's a different podcast,
They've
guys.
been
Come
pretty
on.
good.
Match number 4, probably match of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Finn Balor, 13 minutes, 20 seconds. Good match. Crowd loved it. Crowd was invested. In a show by what you would expect by athletes of this caliber. Kind of a waste for a middle of the card, but hey, can't always get what we want. We have
5 years ago, that would have been a dream match.
That would have been on headlining a pay-per-view, but we have a 6-man tag to get into the main event.
Oh, so that's more important.
But we'll get there. Next match is Raquel Rodriguez versus Sonya Deville. 1 minute, 55 seconds. No love for them. Raquel Rodriguez getting the win over Deville. Deville and her partner, attack Rodriguez at the end, and Shotzi comes out, makes the save. Obviously, building that new tag with Liv Morgan being out. After that, we get the contract signed between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Totally stupid. Made no sense.
Yeah, it
Boring.
was nothing.
I really don't understand why the WWE loves these contract signings in the middle of the ring. None of them ever really do anything for me.
It's just so old. They've
done it so many times, and nothing really happens. At least one person, the heel is going to put the babyface through the table or something. Something stupid. It's old. Don't do it anymore. And again, the content in the ring between the two of them did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they're doing press conferences now before the PLEs.
Well,
That's the
at
latest
least
thing,
that's
so.
different.
No, it
You
is. That's
know,
what I'm
at least
saying. I
that-
think
you know.
they're trying to mix it up a
They're
little bit.
trying to follow AEW's example.
It sounds like a Triple H idea.
Yeah.
To be fair, they've always kind of done press conferences. They just never aired them, like the infamous.
Well, these are
WrestleMania 14, the infamous Shawn Michaels crashing the press conference and throwing
Yeah.
a fit. So they've always kind of did them after big events. But it was never recorded, never part of the show, never gimmicked or anything like that. Match number 6, Dominic Mysterio versus Apollo Crews. Mysterio gets the win. Most hated guy in wrestling, Dominic Mysterio. What can I say? I'm glad that they're giving him some wins and continuing building that heat. He's going to be one of the best heels. Yeah, it's going forward. Match number 7. So yeah, we did get 7 matches tonight, and I'm going to actually admit that I did not watch this match. I had some stuff come up, but it is the WWE favorite 6-man tag: Owens, Zayn, Riddle versus Imperium. 15 minutes 20 seconds with Owens and Zayn, Riddle getting the win. Again, didn't watch it, but given how every single 6-man tag plays out, I'm sure they all got their spots in. They all looked good, given the caliber of talent in
they
the ring.
they got to get the win going.
And so that was Raw. The Raw ends with a little pep talk between Triple H and Cody Rhodes. Triple H is trying to convince him not to wrestle. His arm is broken. Cody basically says, "Would you fight?" And Triple H can't argue that and tells him he's going on to Saudi Arabia.
All right.
The we were saying before we started recording, with all this big hype for this new World Heavyweight Championship match, not one single appearance from Seth Rollins, except for a couple video vignettes. Kind of strange if you're making this your big title going forward. Your go home episode of Monday Night Raw, and you have nothing involving the World Heavyweight title.
The Styles wasn't there either, so
No Styles, no.
Yeah.
They had to have known ahead of time that Seth was going to be going away for this stuff, so why did they have him win? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, again, he's going to be the fighting champion. He's not going to be the part-time guy. This belt's going to be defended.
Yeah, and weren't those videos he was saying how Roman Reigns isn't a fighting champion, he's not there all the time, and then Seth isn't there.
I just thought it was
sense.
strange, with how much focus they've put on this new belt, that this go-home show literally did absolutely nothing to highlight the new belt.
Did they even have it out? It's been sitting out
I didn't see
these
it
last
from,
few weeks, but they didn't even have it out.
No. So, all right,
That's disappointing.
AEW.
AEW, coming from Vegas, baby. Typical AEW Dynamite. All the matches were decent to very good. Probably the only downer was the Taya Valkyrie versus Lady Frost match. That was kind of meh. But whole show was obviously building to the pay-per-view this weekend. Promos from all 4 pillars. Jungle Boy's pre-recorded promo was a bit better than usual. Had a Trios Championship match. House of Black versus AR Fox, Metalik, and Blake Christian, which was a good match. House of Black won with a triple tap out. What else did we have? Oh, talking about contract signings. This was probably the highlight of the night. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole sit down for a contract signing. Cole does a excellent promo right away. Jericho responds, and in the midst of it, Jericho says, "This is an unsanctioned match, so there are no rules. All of JAS is going to be behind me, so it's going to be 5 against 2, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong." So Cole says he called up a buddy up in Vegas.
Yeah.
And who should come out but the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu.
Very cool.
So Sabu is going to be in the corner of Adam Cole
Very
at
cool.
the pay-per-view.
That's a good surprise.
That was cool.
That's a good surprise.
It was a complete surprise. I got to tell you, though, he's only 58 years old, but he looks a hell of a lot older.
Well, yeah.
Well,
if anyone,
Holy cow.
Watch one of his matches.
Oh, I know. I'm just
That
saying.
would age anybody 10 years.
It'll be interesting to see what he does this weekend.
Add 30 years on top of that.
none
Yep.
of those ECW guys are gonna hold up.
After that, we had 2 excellent matches to wrap up the show. Roderick Strong versus Daniel Garcia. I mean, you can't go wrong with those guys. Those guys are technicians. And I was thinking about it. I really think Roderick Strong is the Dean Malenko of this generation.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with that.
Excellent technician, not really known for his mic work or his charisma, but I mean,
Or Chris Benoit.
you can't go wrong with him. And then the main event was the Ring of Honor Tag Championship, Lucha Bros versus the Blackpool Combat Club. And it ended up with interference from the Young Bucks so that the Lucha Brothers win, and then they just Moxley cut a promo to finish out the show, building up the match at Double or Nothing. Overall, 3 out of 5 show, as always. AEW, it does very well.
Cool.
That's all I got.
So, I'm going to add in a little something here, off script. I don't know, do we have a rant for today or no? So let me rant about something for a second.
Here we go.
About what we were just
I'm ready.
talking about was no, because I read something earlier. I don't know what the play is with a new title, but Seth Rollins and AJ Styles made comments this week talking shit on Roman Reigns, and I don't know, like I don't know what the angle is here. Like, you know, Seth is like, you know, he doesn't like the way Roman Reigns conducts business. He's not here. He's not defending it. He's putting people down. Like I don't understand like what the angle is with that. Like why are they you know, they come out with this whole new title. Like Roman Reigns clearly isn't there for some reason. Is he doing anything outside of WWE right now? Or is he just, I mean, there's no projects that I'm aware of that he's working on. So, like, what does he do? Like, it's not like we know he's doing a movie shoot or we know he's doing some kind of show or whatever. There's, like, no reasons why Roman's not around.
He's a part-time contract.
I get that he's part-time, but, like, you know, I guess I don't understand why are they taking away from the new title by talking about, you know, it's almost like it's a play. This whole belt's a play for Roman just to come in and take that belt too. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like
Right.
It definitely feels like a secondary title to Roman.
Right,
And
so-
eventually he will get
And
it.
then you have, you know, remember Triple H's comments when the title first came out. He made comments like, you know, this is going to be a belt that everyone's here wrestling for every night. That's going to be here. Like, I don't understand the shots at Roman. I mean, you guys put the belts on him. You had every opportunity to take the belts off of him. It's kind of like we're mixing the storylines in with real life here. It's like you guys decided to keep the belts on him, and now you're going to play the storyline like he's holding them up and putting everyone down and no one has a chance. Like, I don't understand it. It makes no sense. It's not like it's not really adding up. And then, like you said, then not to have Seth Rollins there to represent the match of this weekend,
Not
or
only
AJ. It's like you're just doing the same thing you're doing with Roman Reigns. So what's the point? Like now you have a whole new title that doesn't even have a go away show or go home show to Saturday because neither one's there. He's out filming a movie himself. At least we know what Seth Rollins is doing. He's filming a movie. We don't know what Roman Reigns is doing. The whole situation just does not make sense. And maybe it's one of those like storylines that no one really knows as a storyline until it happens where it makes sense. Like Roman shows up and takes out both of them on Saturday and crowns somehow the title for himself. I don't know. Like it just, well, why are they trying to include him in the storyline? You two are fighting for what's supposed to be the new big belt. Leave it at that. Don't talk about Roman.
But
Like-
again, like I said, they didn't even acknowledge the belt really
No.
on Raw. No, put aside that the two wrestlers who's wrestling for it weren't even on the show. They didn't even acknowledge this fucking thing.
No.
So it's like, yeah, I don't get it. I'm in your
And
boat.
Triple H took it away from when he first introduced the belt on Raw, and he goes, "This is going to be a belt that everyone has a chance to fight for. That's going to be here every night, representing you guys." Like implying like Roman's not doing that. So the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, it just does not make at all sense.
And to be fair, we still have SmackDown tonight
Yeah.
that they could do something before the show
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah.
So
You know, the writers keep, I don't know if it's the writers, the writing leadership or the creative leadership, they keep painting themselves into a corner. Because if you say we want to put a new title out there, you have to come up with a justification for it. Well, what justification? We have titleflation. We have too many titles. So what justification? Oh, well, we have to take one away. Okay, what one are you going to take? Well, there's 2 on one guy. Maybe we should take one of those away. Well, why would you want to do that? Okay, now you have a why you have to answer. Well, the why, he's not here every week. Why should the guy that's not here every week? Perfect. That's perfect justification. The only problem is that you paint yourself into a corner because the only people that are left in the organization that are worthy of carrying a title like that are candidates for the type of outside work that would prevent them from showing up.
Right.
So you paint yourself into this ridiculous creative corner where, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead here too much, but does anybody here think AJ Styles is going to walk away as the new champion?
As much as I want him to.
SmackDown's AJ Styles? No.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, okay, he's the only guy that's on a full contract that has shown up week after week. Granted, he's just coming off of a break. But he's the only guy that's shown up every week the last 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Since the draft. He's the only guy that's been there every week. So it's like, but you don't want to paint yourself into the corner of putting on AJ Styles because he's in SmackDown. So they keep, it's like the creative is in, I don't know if they're doing it intentionally or unintentionally, but they're being too specific with the details they're giving out, and it's preventing them from creatively working their way to a solution that's going to give them the flexibility that they need to create the kind of unpredictability that drives an interesting storyline. Because right now we have unpredictability, but it's because up is down, left is right, black is white.
It's like the writers don't watch their own show.
They certainly don't watch their own show. I mean, I can almost guarantee that because anybody that watched, they should show it to their mothers and go, "Does this make sense to you?"
Right.
Well, it's almost like they have too many people with their hands in the pot running.
I'm sure
like you have Vince, like Roman's going to be the champion. But go make another title. They got these guys trying to make a new title, but trying to justify it. And why? It's just like there's just too many people, I think, making decisions.
Okay, so
and no one really knows. Like
this title replaces the WWE title that Roman Reigns is currently carrying. Right? We're at the end of a tournament. There's one match left to go. Paul Heyman is still carrying both titles for Roman Reigns.
Whoa, did they announce that the WWE title is not going to exist anymore?
It's still called the Universal Championship, Undisputed Universal. So that's
but
what
then
it
the
seems
second
like.
one that he carries, the
WWE
Championship. This is the WWE World Championship.
Right.
My understanding was that this was intended to replace, correct?
WWE.
The
Yeah.
WWE Championship.
So I did read today that title is going. So the new World Heavyweight title is going to follow the one that ended in 2013. So Randy Orton was the last holder of that. So this belt's going to continue
And that
off
was
that
the one that went
So I'm
back.
going
So
to
they're not
say,
even doing away
so
with
I'm
the
going to say the
title.
WWE
So there's
Championship
three
is still
fucking
its
world
own.
titles.
Shoot me.
I read that as the WWE
Oh,
Championship
my
is still
God.
going to be its own thing.
Belts for everybody.
Yeah.
So the one that came out in 2002,
You want to
that
be a
Triple H
champion?
had.
You can be a
Am
champion.
I crazy for thinking that? I mean, okay, I didn't explicitly read that it would be a replacement.
I just read it today.
I didn't explicitly read that, but
That's my understanding. It's still called the Undisputed Universal Championship.
Yes.
So the WWE Championship.
And in the
is kind of
timeline, this new
pushed
one
off to the
will
side.
come right after Randy Orton losing, or with it being combined in 2013 when he won both of them.
And they're counting Roman's reign back from when he won the Universal Championship. That's the 900 whatever days.
So this one's gonna be back to the old. This one's
But
following the
what
old
I'm
World
asking
Heavyweight.
is after Saturday afternoon, is Roman Reigns still going to be holding 2 title belts?
Yes.
That's an absurdity. That's
Belts for everybody.
So that just adds to what I'm.
so
what
that
I'm,
completely ruins the justification for having the title.
So
in the
that
first
just
place.
makes me pissed. So you have a belt that he has 2 belts.
I just
that
assumed
two people should have instead of one, and now you're creating a third. But the whole thing is horrible.
Yeah.
It's just
Why
just
are you
bad.
pissed?
plan.
You should love this. You made an argument a couple weeks ago. You love belts on every show, on every wrestler.
No. What I said
Those
was
belts.
What I said was
Well, he's
those
got
belts,
those belts.
one on each show, with people that are actually defending them, and not 2 belts combined on one guy who's never around. And no one knows, now we're creating a third one, which I do like. The more I look at it, I do like the title. I didn't like it at first. I'm starting to come around to it. All right, let's go into ratings. Raw was pretty much across the board, 1.7 until the third hour, 1.5. SmackDown was up a bit this week, 2.13 with the Bloodline there, helping increase the ratings there. AEW up 846,000 compared to 817 last week, so it's up a little bit. But I will say, SmackDown looks like it's up overall compared to last year. But I I have to go. I looked at AEWs for like the last year. They have come. Like I don't
It's
really
dipped,
know what
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
they've
don't know
been
what
dropping.
the deal is. They did run at $1 million for a while, $1 million. I think even like 1.1 for a while. Then they went into the 9s, and now they're down like they had like 2 weeks ago it was like 786, I think, was
Yeah,
the
they had a
lowest
bad
I've
week.
seen in a while. And now this one is up a little bit, but I mean, even with the pay-per-view coming up Saturday, you would think they would have a little bit of a higher draw going into the pay-per-view, but. I don't
Well, we
know.
can blame Hulk Hogan for last week's.
Stop.
So let's go into news and rumors. First, let's take care of some WWE business. We have special streams this week. Saturday, 1 o'clock, we'll be streaming here for...
Night of Champions.
Yes, Night of Champions. And
Afternoon of Champions.
Double or Nothing will be on Sunday. These three will be here. I will not be here this weekend. I will maybe there at the beginning of the Saturday stream for the Night of Champions. But so definitely check those out. Falls count everywhere. You guys went through your top 5 best and worst titles.
We did.
Championships, yep.
Yep.
How'd that come out? Like, was there any?
That's
like,
my number one right there.
Big disagreements.
You know, you win some, you lose some. That's really what it comes down to. Like all champions, you win some, you lose some.
Episode 3 will be out this week. What are you guys talking about?
We're doing industry lingo.
Oh, there you go.
So we're on a gaming channel. We figure some people might not be able to keep up. So I'm giving
You gonna quiz Matt?
I'm giving the professor here a vocab quiz, and we're gonna learn a little bit more about the lingo of the industry, so people can keep up. So
Yeah,
check
so
it out.
Definitely
Guys.
check that out this Monday. Falls Count Anywhere. So then let's go over some news and rumors. So we have a lot of injuries this week, all pretty much in the female category. Liv Morgan out, Dakota out, Mercedes all out. Like it is like across the board. And these are ones that I'm gonna imagine they're gonna be out for quite a bit.
Yeah, there
based
was-
off of reading it. It's not
there
like
were-
they're gonna be right up next week
Yeah.
or 2 weeks.
No. Dakota Kai and Liv Morgan both require surgery. That's confirmed. As a matter of fact, I think Dakota Kai got out of surgery today for hers. Monet, it's a broken ankle. She's going to be off of it for a few months probably because it's a pretty bad break is my understanding. And actually, 2 more. One popped into my head and the other one I got reminded of. Indy Hartwell bruised her ankle really bad, and that's why even though every single draftee from NXT has made their premiere now,
That's right.
she has yet to make her premiere, and she was the NXT Women's Champion. I mean, she's the
and
crown
she
jewel.
relinquished the title, too.
And she ended up relinquishing the title.
Yep, that's right.
Not necessarily because of the injury, because she was drafted up. But yeah, it's related to it. And Aussie Open just got signed to AEW. Huge indie signing, great. And they had to vacate their NJPW tag team titles because, wouldn't you know it, Mark Davis is out with an injury. And he's going to be out significantly. So they won't
hate
be
to see
premiering
him.
on AEW for a
Didn't
while.
I also see this week that rumor and innuendo is that Randy Orton may be done? due to
I did read that a
injuries.
while ago.
Yeah, nothing's
He's-
official yet. but-
Nothing's official.
They,
but
they told him not to wrestle
is it his
again.
Neck?
Yeah.
His back.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I don't know. It got me thinking like, it just seems inordinately high. I don't know if there's something in the air or if Mercury's in retrograde or whatever, but something fun. It just seems
It
like
always seems to happen in like a batch. Like It's always like a batch of wrestlers kind of go down at one time.
I mean, maybe it's WrestleMania or but like that's the other thing is some of this stuff is so stupid. Like Liv Morgan and Dakota Kai. It was just a tag team match on SmackDown, and in the same match,
Both got hurt in the same?
the same match at the same time, shoulder and ankle, or shoulder and ACL. She tore her
ideally,
ACL.
if the move goes bad, if it was really the same.
It was just the same match. Two
Oh,
different.
I thought you meant like the same actual.
So it's just it blows my mind, and especially like the women's division. It seems to be very heavy in the women's division. It just makes me wonder if there's. I mean, if I worked for WWE, I'd have some serious safety concerns. Like, I'd be talking to my athletes, being like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, but I mean, Jeremy, you and I have some experience in the ring. You know, it doesn't take much to slip in.
I mean,
you got to be on all the time.
Anything can happen at any time.
all of these are caught on video. None of them are, oh, I forgot to tuck my chin. Like it's all,
Right.
except for maybe Liv Morgan's shoulder injury where she's kind of flinching and the boot kind of hits her in the corner.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, it's like you're jumping and you're not checking your landing or stuff. I'm not saying it's stupid because you're in the
Right.
moment and the adrenaline's pumping and stuff. It just seems like a lot of them are happening all at one time, like an inordinately high. And like guys are getting, now it's to the point where guys are getting signed to contracts with major promotions with injuries. Like, what if for whatever
that
reason
was-
Mark Davis doesn't heal right?
That was strange to me. I'm surprised they got signed like
Titles
that.
are getting vacated left and right over it. We had the women's tag team get vacated because of Liv Morgan's injury. We have Aussie Open having to vacate the tag titles and
Two
NJPW. Right. And you've got Indy Hartwell being injured when she vacates the title. It just seems really weird to me. It seems like I would not want to be a title holder if I was wrestling right now, because that seems to be a mark of death.
Well, they're going to be on the bench for a while. So,
Yeah.
Right.
and speaking of being on the bench, Hulk Hogan making some news this week. Apparently, could have been in the running for WrestleMania 39 with a retirement match. Shane McMahon called him up, wanted him to partake.
All right.
What do you think of that?
Hulk Hogan wasn't ready for it. His back.
Well,
And
Shane specifically told him, "You don't have to take any bumps. I'll just run the ropes and bump off
just
you."
show up.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Well, I think Hogan said that. He just wasn't. He wasn't fully ready for it.
Well, here's the thing. Even if he did think he was fully ready for it, the surgeries and everything that Hulk Hogan's gone through over the last 10 years, me and my brother always joke. There's a line in one of the Star Wars movies where Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke Skywalker that, Vader's more machine than man. Well, that's what we say about Hulk Hogan. He is more machine than man right now. 2 replaced hips, 2 replaced knees, a back that's literally fused from top to bottom.
You can see it when he walks. He doesn't look right.
Yeah, and if you see behind the scenes, he's always with a cane now. Listen, if he wants, I understand the itch. I understand wanting to get in there and do something. But listen, if Hulk Hogan just needs to stick to letting his music hit, getting a big pop, giving a wave, and then walking back through the curtain. Anything physical, even if it's just throwing a right hand, is not a good idea for him right now.
Like, why isn't he
And ever
doing it?
again.
Like, you got guys like Arn Anderson, Sting, Jake the Snake that are coming back, making an appearance, getting a pop, getting on the mic, doing something. Like, he could easily be doing that on a regular basis with any promotion, and yet he's not doing it. He's not busy doing anything else. I don't understand why he isn't. If he's got the itch, why isn't he
Because
scratching
he's
it?
still going through major back surgery. He's had 15 of them.
I think we all like Hulk Hogan, but I think the last thing we want to see is him in the match.
Yeah.
in the ring
Exactly.
doing a match.
No,
we just don't need to
exactly.
see that.
Yeah.
We've seen enough of Hulk Hogan over the years.
Same
I
thing
think
with
with-
Ric Flair and
Yeah,
any of those
I
guys.
think
Yeah.
what's best for Hulk Hogan is how he kicked off WrestleMania 30 with The Rock and Steve Austin.
Yep.
Come out, real American music, red and yellow, wave to the crowd, do the what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, and then walk back up the stage.
I think WrestleMania 40 with Steve Austin. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea.
First of all,
I don't think Steve Austin's going to want to do it.
No.
That's not going to help his image at all.
No.
I mean, I think Steve's already said that it's got to be the right storyline and the right match for him to come back and do anything at WrestleMania. I don't think that's
Well, they came back last year against Owens, right?
right. And that had a good storyline.
Right.
There was a purpose to that.
Yeah,
like it was.
They
and
put
it-
on a great match,
Right.
And Steve Austin to being the vet, he wrestled to his abilities. We didn't get the Austin 316 of '98,
Right.
but we got what we would expect of Steve, and it was fantastic. Hulk Hogan can't give us that. He physically can't
Yeah,
give
you
us
have
that.
to have enough functionality to at least perform the moves, and you don't have it.
So Hulk, we love you. Just stick to getting a pop, waving to the crowd, and going home.
So in other news, Nick Khan was doing an interview this week, and off of our little heated argument last week, he was talking about TV rights and how SmackDown could move to a 3-hour option, and also they don't care if they move Raw. They're not opposed to Raw moving, so maybe it'll be Tuesday night, Monday night, or it'll be
On
Tuesday.
Amazon Prime.
Is
Monday
that
Night
all
Raw,
that they
Tuesday
said?
Night Raw.
Is that all that they said?
I'm so used to saying it, I can't even
piece of
say
news?
it.
Was there another piece of news associated?
I don't know.
with
Do you
that?
want to share that?
Perhaps some. You're the news and rumors guy. I'm just.
I mean, I don't think I heard anything about Amazon. I don't think I heard anything.
I
Fake
heard
news.
I mean,
Fake
I'm
news.
presenting the news, so I don't think I heard anything
that
about
Amazon
this.
Prime would be an excellent candidate for the programming because they're looking for themed programming around.
Of course
certain
they are.
days
They're
of
always
the
looking for
week.
programming. Who's
Oh,
not?
now it's so obvious. Of course, of course.
My
of course.
argument wasn't. No, my argument was the reach. It wasn't so much it would be a good fit or not. My argument was it wouldn't be a good idea for people. It wouldn't be a good idea to go.
Are you saying that just to get me to say it? Because I'll say it.
What?
200 million! 200 million eyeballs!
That's
200 million, dude. 200 million.
You gotta understand something. When you say 70 million cable,
73, yeah.
73 million, right? Are you including everyone in the household?
I don't care, dude.
Okay, but no, seriously, you don't think about that.
Fine.
There might be 70 million households that have it. Okay, now count the 5 people in that house that are watching.
But that's not the way that it works,
Well,
okay?
it could be.
As a family man, I can tell you that I do not sit down and watch my children's programming with them. My 5-year-old show does not interest me. So that's not how it
love
works.
Bluey and you
Yeah,
know it.
You know it. Listen, we're not talking about Bluey, okay?
I said I've been
We're
on a
talking
show.
about Super Kitties, okay? I don't watch Super Kitties.
Yeah, but I think at this point, put our differences aside. Anyone's in the ruling or in the running for the TV rights, and
At this
Amazon
point,
has
yeah.
money. If they want it, they're gonna get it. I mean, that's just the way it is, whether it makes sense or not. My argument's more it doesn't make sense. But I think he also talked about Fox's timeline is up. Their 30 days is up, so
Yeah,
they can
they're out. They're out.
Obviously they're not really all that interested in it. But NBC Universal is still in their 30-day window, so I think they're hoping that maybe something get worked out there. We talked about this before. NBC, Universal, USA Network, they have always had WWE programming for a very long time. Outside of that, when Raw went to TNT for a little bit, they ended up coming back. They've always been part of the NBC Universal Network for a long, long time. I find it very hard to believe they're going to give that up. I think they'll pay. And Nick Khan said, we're looking for the most valuable deal that we can. We think we're worth it. I mean, someone could say, do we really? I mean, content in itself has value, but WWE, do we really think their value is going up or going down? I don't really know. I mean, when you talk about Roman Reigns not being there, Seth Rollins not being there at nights, that starts to add up. People don't like it when superstars aren't there. SmackDown, for example, who has no wrestlers on it now after the draft, really any good substantial leads, with no Roman Reigns there, is it really a show you want to watch? AJ Styles is on it, yes.
This is a topic of a rant for another day, but honestly, guys, I mean, I think the sad truth is that we aren't the WWE's target audience anymore.
No,
we are
absolutely
the
not.
audience that they take for granted because we've been there since we were 5 years old, but we are not the target audience anymore. And as a result of that, the product is changing. And that's why we get a little bit more excited about something like AEW because it appeals, and we get excited about Impact and about, New Japan and all that stuff because that appeals to something a little bit different, which is why you're always going to see numbers for AEW lower than WWE for that reason. I think always. I think 875 is fine, but it's not going to be 2 million. You're not going to see 2 million like you do.
And speaking of how you just said that, he did bring up the fact that they're not opposed to a third hour that's more for a mature audience.
Third hour of Raw, yeah.
After Triple H goes on and on and on about how hard it is to write that third hour, how it's so exponentially
But I think that
more
changes it,
difficult.
though.
But that's the difference between creative and finance. You got the creative guy going, it is so hard to do this, it's so difficult, the people are always dropping off, and they stop, and then you got the finance guy that comes on and goes, we're open to it. I could see in my mind's eye Triple H rolling
But
his
I
eyes,
think
being
this
like,
is a
oh my
win.
God.
If they do that, I think it's a win for creative because they now could really create a third hour that gives them so. Okay,
They only
to
get
do
enough rope
3
to hang
hours of a
themselves.
dull, rated PG show is horrible.
No, what they
to now
need to
have
do-
an hour where you can put an Extreme Rules match.
No,
There can be blood. There can be bleed. Like, that's all stuff that they now can add in.
You'd be better off cutting it to 2 and moving it an hour later if you wanted to do that. Go 9 to 11 and cut it down to 2 hours.
Never gonna get rid of that third hour. Ever.
No, probably not.
And now they're
It's
throwing out the. Well,
No.
we're not opposed to 3 hours of SmackDown
Right.
either. We'll throw that out there.
USA's
somewhere.
never going to be able to do whatever is like $1.5 million in that third hour. They're never going to be able to do $1.5 million playing some rerun of Suits or whatever it is they're going to do. So
What? Suits is my top 5 show. So if we're gonna get into that right now, you picked the wrong thing to talk about there.
Listen, I don't have anything against Suits.
It's a great
okay,
show.
but you're not going to get $1.5 million viewers on a Suits rerun.
It's
Never
not
heard
on a
of it.
rerun. It used to get like 4 million an episode though. the new AEW video game footage coming out. I don't think it's playable. You said it's playable?
I have
I
seen
looked up it.
clips of.
So they're promoting it. So I looked at the gameplay.
So what, you can just watch a preview on your Xbox?
They have wrestlers that are out there. Like
There are YouTubers who are
yeah,
playing
there's some
it.
YouTubers that have.
Alright,
That's how it
okay,
works
okay,
at the
so,
end.
like-
So some people, any YouTubers or streamers like Ninja, Tim the Tap Man, they all get stuff early that they can play and show off as a way of promoting the game. But I'll tell you now, I don't know if you looked at the gameplay, it does not look that good compared
I
to
wasn't
WWE
impressed.
2K.
It looks a little rough, yeah.
It is very, very choppy. It doesn't look. I mean, it may be suitable for their first ever video game, but I don't know. But
It does look like it has some interesting features.
I think it's going to be popular just because no one's had an AEW video game before.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a pretty.
I think
sharp
the
learning
first
curve.
one's always going to be a hit. It's what can they do to capitalize onto the second one. If they make another garbage second one, then it's dead. The first one's always going to be, because everyone's going to say, oh, I want to wrestle with, the elite characters. I want to wrestle with Chris Jericho. I mean, they're all going to do that. And then,
Yeah, it's a little rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Official release date, though, was announced for the 29th.
Yeah.
Just so we know.
WWE expected to make some minor talent cuts by the end of June. So we'll see what happens there. That's typical every summer. Type of cuts they do. The only other thing I had on here, we won't talk too much about it, is the CM Punk drama. Now apparently he's back on the show. Contract was sent to him to sign. He only had till the weekend to sign and face legal action, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't put that in my AEW highlights from this week, but Tony Khan's big announcement this week: the first episode of Collision will be in Chicago, so
He's
it's
back.
pretty clear that
So
he's going to come back.
Unless something happens. But you know what? Every week this story changes. So God
Right.
knows what the hell happens
Yeah,
between
how many
now
weeks?
and
How many weeks? We got 3 more weeks, so.
Mike, does anybody care at this point? Does
Chicago
anybody
will
now.
I mean, Chicago, obviously, it's hometown hero, but does anyone really care about CM Punk now?
No, I think
No,
people are
I'm
getting
over
tired.
it.
He's lost his luster.
Yeah.
People are
You
getting
know,
tired. He's going to have to throw down a serious match in his first month back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and Tony Khan had a meeting. Apparently they worked it out if all rumors are true. Ace Steel is going to be staying home, not at the show, so it must be that mutual I get half, you get half type situation. Other than that, that's all I got for news and rumors. So we're going to go over a lot of predictions now.
Yeah, let's go into some predictions. So let's start with Night of Champions, and I'm just going to run through the list here, and we can kind of talk about our ups and our downs. Let's just go straight for the jugular. We've talked a lot about this, so I'll get it out of the way early. But Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the new World Heavyweight Championship. I said earlier, does anybody actually think AJ Styles is going to win this? And I think we all kind of said no.
I'm going with AJ Styles.
You think
Are
AJ
you?
Styles
Yeah,
is
I'm
going
going
to
to
win?
go with that. I think it's to be a last minute change.
That's an interesting prediction. I think that we all want to see a guy like AJ Styles take the championship. But,
Exactly.
I
No,
still-
I want Seth Rollins to win. I think he deserves it. I just think right now that
he's a better fit for the
I
championship.
think with the current storylines with Seth not being around and being busy, I'm not going to throw out the possibility of some last minute changes where AJ Styles now gets the belt.
Yeah.
WWE flies by one decision Monday is completely different by Saturday.
Yeah,
you know?
is Vince going to be in Saudi Arabia? That's really the question.
I mean,
we ask.
I would love to see Seth Rollins win it. I think he deserves it. He's put in his time, but you
Send
can't
Roman
have
out
another
there. He'll
Roman
win it.
Reigns. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm hoping that maybe that changes, and they say, you know what, we're gonna give it to AJ Styles.
One
and he
other
can be here every
interesting
week.
thing to note is sort of secondary to it. How much weight are you trying to put on the OC? Because if you want to give the OC a good push, give the leader a belt.
Yeah, while AJ was out injured, they were gone
Gone.
from TV.
Totally gone.
So AJ is the focus, and they'll go wherever he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All right, cool. All right, I think we beat that one to death. We'll put it away.
Yep.
Rhodes versus Lesnar, Part 2, The Revenge, Out for Blood, I Want to Fight. Cody's going over?
I'm picking Lesnar in this one. I think they're going to draw it out to a third match.
Oh, that's so
I'm torn.
SummerSlam?
I'm torn with that.
SummerSlam?
Cody won the first match. Brock will win this one, and then they'll go to SummerSlam.
I think that's really what they're gonna do. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
So that means
I wouldn't put anything past a squash match for Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
when he goes over, it's almost always a
I
squash.
feel like
Yeah.
they're gonna do that type of storyline that Triple H had, where Shawn Michaels showed up and go, "Man, don't ruin your career trying to take him." Remember when Triple H kept losing?
They
You know, and
did
it's
that
like
at the end of Monday Night Raw.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
it's
what they're
gonna
gonna
make
try
Cody
to do.
look
Like
bad.
he could show up and get squashed right away, and then it's gonna be like, don't go for the third match.
I mean-
Don't go. No.
Long term, I think your best bet is to let Cody eke one out really close on this one. He's been getting beaten and beaten and beaten. Unless you're going to send him out on break for 3 months, and he's going to miss potentially SummerSlam or come back at SummerSlam, you got to have him.
When's
fairly
Money in the
close.
Bank? Before or after SummerSlam?
July 1st. It's before.
So I'm hearing that he's gonna be in Money in the Bank. So, maybe he takes the loss. Goes
You're going to make
that.
him look really weak. I mean, you're basically
If
hitting
he
the
takes the
reset
loss,
button.
he's gonna
Yeah.
look
If
bad.
he loses to Lesnar, especially if it's a squash,
I've been torn, but I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes win. I think he wins and goes to Money in the Bank with some momentum.
Who are you guys picking?
I've got Rhodes going over.
I'm going to go with Rhodes just because I think he's too hot right now to fuck with his trajectory to wherever he's going to end up story wise. But again, it's him versus Brock Lesnar. It depends on how strong they want to make Brock Lesnar look.
Right.
Like beating up Cody Rhodes is going to make him look any stronger. Come on.
Right.
Okay, moving on. ZKO versus the Bloodline. That's Reigns and Sikoa, not the Uso brothers, for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships.
Oh.
I think Bloodline wins and they put him in a feud with the Usos.
That would piss me off. You're going to
And
put
I'm probably
two
right.
more belts on Roman Reigns.
I think ZKO is going to win, and it's going to lead to the same conclusion.
Yes, I think ZKO goes over and at SummerSlam.
It'll be Bloodline versus Usos.
Yep.
Usos get involved with this match,
Right.
cost him the title.
They cause him to lose.
Oh, great. Now you've got the riff from the
you know.
Bloodline.
That makes the most sense,
And it's interesting.
and that's what
Yeah.
they should do. But I think with Roman Reigns and who's behind him, which is Vince, I think it's gonna be stupid and they win the title.
I mean, how cool would it
and
be
he's
to
gonna
see-
come out with 4 titles on SmackDown
See
next week.
something happen and just see Jimmy shake hands with Sami Zayn.
You understand? Like if they win the titles, he's gonna come out with 4 titles.
No, Paul Heyman's going to come out with 4
But
titles.
You're not
gonna-
going to be able to see the
He's
Paul Heyman
technically
winning
gonna
the
be
title.
4 different champions. Raw Tag, SmackDown Tag, WWE Universal.
Okay,
He's gonna be a
combine it
4-time.
all into
then-
one belt.
And then Roman Reigns gets added to the World Heavyweight match, and he wins that match.
Okay.
You know they can't.
He's
The
the
problem is they
best.
can't help themselves to do that. I think they're going to do that.
Just because I want to hear Paul Heyman's promo, I'm going with Bloodline. I want to hear what he has to say about
like,
someone carrying 4
hand
fucking
the mic
belts.
over.
But then again, I find it hard to believe they're going to bring
Yeah,
out
ZKO.
Owens and them out there just to have them lose the title and they're all their momentum. So I don't really know. A lot of these they can go either way matches.
All right. Moving on. Gunther versus Mustafa
This is
Ali
easy.
for the IC championship.
Easy.
Yeah,
Gunther's going to
Gunther
hold
wins.
it.
Think
Although I hope it's a good match. You could
Oh,
tell a
it'll be a
really
long,
good
good
should
match.
be. You could tell a really good story with this
Ali
match.
is
Sure.
very good. and
He's great.
Gunther's fantastic. It should be a good match.
All right. Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Of course, reminder to everybody they're both in the SmackDown brand.
Asuka.
currently,
Mhm.
so-
I'm going Asuka on that.
I'm going Asuka too.
Bianca Belair, longest title reign in modern history. Does it continue?
No.
The fans
No.
are sick of it, I think, at this point.
Bless you.
Need a pick.
I know. I
Need
wish
a
one of
pick.
them. Wish one of them was on Raw. Then I wouldn't care.
Neither one of them are on Raw.
I know. All right. So everybody's saying Asuka.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be difficult. Bianca. Bianca
Okay.
Belair. I'll be. All right. Next one.
This
Talk
one
about a match that
very easy.
nobody gives a crap about.
Because no one can take us. You
They're
really think?
not even.
Do we really
talking
think Natalia's
about
going to win? Come
They're
on.
not even talking.
Because they did nothing to build it.
All right. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm doing.
And
a
they
bad job.
haven't built
Hang on.
Natalia in years.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a bad job hosting. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Just a reminder, they're both Raw roster members.
I wouldn't even give it that much time. That's how bad of a match it is.
Seriously.
So Rhea Ripley's going to hold it. Yes.
Yes, across the board.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. Not
I
going to
mean,
be
I think
difficult.
That's a time filler match.
I mean,
I think it'll be short. I don't know how.
I don't
what
know.
kind of shape.
I think in ring wise, you might get a good match, but no one's gonna care. No one cares about the match. There was no promotion. There was no
Well,
build.
they
there
might
was
care
no-
about it. There's 3 women's matches in Saudi Arabia where women's matches only started, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So
Right.
the
They're
crowd
making a
might
My
statement.
care.
God, I didn't even think about that. They're going to come out in like burlap sacks.
Yeah.
No, they'll just be all their skin covered. That's what they did the last few times.
Yeah, they're going to come out in like bodysuits or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which will be really difficult on
Well,
the next match.
All right, so and then the match that literally, I mean, I think I care about least, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus.
Trish to keep the storyline
I
going.
care about that one more than the other two women's matches.
Oh, I do too.
At least there's a title on the line with the other one.
No, I think these two have enough of their own statue where I think that makes more of a match than the other ones.
Yeah, I'm going for Trish too.
I think they're going to keep the storyline going to SummerSlam, so she needs to, by like disqualification or something.
Right.
It's going to be like a
Something
cheap
funky.
win.
Yeah.
But I think she wins over Becky.
Trish is not doing a good job getting heat.
She's not doing bad. I mean, she's a legend. Everyone's going to cheer her.
She's
She's
like
trying her best to be
They're
a
like
heel.
when they try to do Hollywood Rock. Remember,
Right.
like everyone wants to root for The Rock, and he's actually cooler as a villain or as a heel more than he is like. I
They need
mean,
to make her. They need to ugly her up. She's too good looking.
well,
They
here-
need
Cover
to
up the cleavage.
They need to ugly her up somehow.
Here's the thing when it comes to someone at Trish's status. At some point,
Stratus.
yeah, whatever.
Status.
Status.
Stratus. Trish Status.
No, I said
Someone
it right.
of her
I know,
status.
dude.
All right.
I know.
At some point, you just kind of everybody cheers it because they're just happy to see the legend. Like
Right.
you know, it happened to Triple H. You know,
Chris Jericho gets cheered even though he's a heel.
Triple H. You know, when he was neck deep in the Authority storyline, he still got cheered massively every time Motorhead popped on the. You just get to that point where you're just going to get cheered regardless. It doesn't matter what you try to do or so. And she's there, so it's really hard to make a story meaningful if you're trying to make her the heel.
So who you picking?
I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch. I think Trish is just doing these one-offs just to get them out of the way. I don't think she wants to be there full time.
She's still got a couple more in her.
Stratus. She's not wrestling in the interim week. She's only wrestling on PLEs.
Yeah.
So she can hold it. She can keep it going. They can drag this out to SummerSlam.
All right.
All right. So moving on to Double or Nothing, which looks like a way more interesting card. Let's go straight for the jugular here. The Four Pillars match. MJF versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin for the AEW World Championship. I think MJF holds.
Same.
I agree.
I think. Who are you picking?
well, I think it makes sense. MJF. I really would like to see Sammy
Wow.
win. I'm a big Sammy fan, but I don't think he's.
He would be the next guy. I mean, there's no way.
I don't think they're ready to
No,
make that
definitely
move.
not.
I don't think they're ready to make that move
if-
yet, but I think he'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, if all three of the others drop dead, he'd have to do a count out or something to make sure that he didn't.
See, I didn't even think Sammy. I think if anyone other than MJF, it'd be Darby.
Yeah.
I can't even.
I only say Sammy because I think Sammy put his time in.
Sure.
You know,
I
I
don't
think
say
Sammy
he
put in
doesn't
time
deserve
in.
it,
I think
but-
he does a lot of stuff outside the ring that helps promote his image. He does a lot of like the YouTube content. I think there's just a lot that he brands, and I think he's a great heel. I think he's a
And I
fantastic
think
heel.
there'll be MJF will do. There'll be something.
But
slimy.
MJF is just too powerful right now to, and his image is just big to take it off. of
I'm
him.
not sure if AEW in the multi-man matches does automatic no DQs. They don't push that like WWE does, so maybe there'll still be DQs, so he can't use his ring.
is the four? So if once one gets pinned, they're out, right?
Yeah.
no,
any-
it's not. It's not elimination.
Any
It's
one
The
pin.
first pin wins. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure they changed that up with the.
All right, FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal for the World Tag Team
TTNA.
Championships. FTR.
Why Jeff Jarrett even wrestling? I'm sorry.
I mean, unless Jay Lethal comes out as Black Machismo.
To me.
A lot of people are loving Jeff Jarrett right
I know.
now.
I just don't. Again, I'm one of those. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like.
Well, speaking of old guys people love, Wardlow versus Christian Cage in a ladder match for the TNT Championship. Are they really going to put the title on Christian Cage? Do you think so?
That's who I'm calling.
I'll go
I
with
mean,
that.
it's a ladder match. If you are going to have it change hands,
I'm going
And
Wardlow.
Luchasaurus is going to be there.
Wardlow.
I'll go Christian Cage. Yeah, because it's a ladder match.
okay.
That's the only. If it were a regular match,
I'm by
it's Wardlow
myself.
all day.
You're by yourself. Yep. That
all
might
right.
be the difference maker right there.
So this is kind of a weird one. This is going to tug on your heartstrings a little bit, Adam. 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale for the IC Championship. They've really only named Orange Cassidy, Aaron Solo, Powerhouse Hobbs. and
Actually,
QT Marshall.
I just found it today. They have named all 21.
Oh, they did?
Yep. It's Butcher and Blade, Bandito, Commander, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Arya Davari, Tony Nese, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Kip Sabian, Pentagon, Phoenix, Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Orange Cassidy, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes.
Can I just say really quickly, everybody? He's looking at his phone right now. He's not looking at a list. He's looking at a picture. That's why we call this guy the professor.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear that that Orange Cassidy's going to keep the championship.
I think so.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, the only person they might give it to. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see it on like a Powerhouse Hobbs, but.
I'd say, yeah, if not Orange, Ricky Starks.
Or I mean, it would be cool to have Keith Lee win it.
Or Keith Lee.
But no, I think he's going to hold it.
That's what everybody's going with.
The GM man, Orange Cassidy. Just say Orange Cassidy. Do you even know?
I don't know. A lot
Do you
of
want to
what
look
he
at
just- I don't know a
it?
lot of what he just said.
Pentagon.
I'll go Orange
Just say
Cassidy.
Pentagon, just to humor me.
Well, I'm looking one up. I'm wondering why you didn't say his name. I wonder if he's still there. I'm trying to think of his name again. Sean Spears. Is he wrestling AEW anymore?
He just came back a couple weeks ago, but he's hit or miss.
Like, wasn't he like a big attraction when the AEW pulled him?
He was
Early
really
on.
popular
The
with the
chairman,
fans. Yeah.
when he's
Yeah.
hitting people with chairs.
Yeah. The
And then he's like hasn't been around in like 2 years. I had to look him up. I'm like, why isn't he in that list?
it gets crowded, man.
'Cause I was gonna go with that one if he was in there.
All right. Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm for the AEW Women's Championship.
Tony Storm.
I'm gonna vote for whatever you vote for here.
Oh, jeez.
What are we going with?
I think, well, Tony Storm is a former champion. But with her story now with the rest of the Outcasts, I don't think she's going to beat Jamie. I think Jamie's going to retain.
So far,
I'll go with Storm just because.
Okay. Just to be different.
Just to be different.
Who'd you say, Dan?
Tony.
Okay.
next we got the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in an Anarchy in the Arena match. Matt, help me here. What is an Anarchy in the Arena
I was going to
match?
ask the same exact thing.
Basically,
It's fun. It's really fun.
It's a fancy street fight. They can go through all throughout the arena. Weapons are included, no holds barred, but the fall has to happen in the ring.
It's really they
Gotcha.
go through the concession stands.
Yep.
And they start covering each other in food. It can be a lot of fun. I really enjoy
It was
those type of
it
matches.
was Moxley's rebuttal to doing a stadium stampede. He didn't want it to be
Gotcha.
goofy. He just wants it to be a fight. So he'll be bleeding. Daniel Bryan will
Yeah.
be bleeding.
You'll see some crazy
Kenny Omega
spots.
will be bleeding.
crazy spots. They'll probably have to have multiple cameras out there because there'll be simultaneous fighting going on and stuff. It'll be interesting.
And I'm going for the Elite.
Obviously, the
Yeah, I'll
elite.
go with the Elite.
Then
Yeah.
I'll do Blackpool Combat Club.
Okay.
I will be the one man that says no. All right, Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship. Jade is still holding it, right?
Over 500 days now.
I think,
Jade.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
if it is going to come off of her, it's going to go on Valkyrie.
Yeah, I think
I'll go with Valkyrie.
All right.
Me
Just
too.
because I want to see it. That is too long. 500 and whatever days?
Mhm.
That's too long.
60-0 right now she is.
Yeah, she needs to go down.
I'm either gonna get blown out in these picks, or I'm gonna win by a
You're gonna win
landslide.
by a
Me too.
landslide.
This is
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
is. This
Make
is
it
like
different.
those people that do their March
I'm
Madness
Valkyrie.
brackets based
Okay.
off the mascot. They always seem to do better than the people that think.
So this next one, I couldn't even find a graphic for, so AEW doesn't really care
It's
about
a
this
six-man
match.
tag.
It is. It's Ethan Page and the Guns versus the Hardy Party, and a six-man tag for Ethan Page's contract.
And I have an update to this. Spoiler for tonight's Rampage. Isaiah Cassidy is injured and won't be in the match. He's been replaced with FTW champion Hook.
Interesting. A great replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused. Is Hardy Party a heel, or are they tweeners?
No, they're baby faces. Paige
Okay.
and the Guns are the heels. So while Jeff Hardy was out, the Firm, which was the group the Guns and Paige were part of, won the rights to Private Party and Matt Hardy's contracts. A couple weeks ago, Hardy won his contract back, and now this match is to win control of Ethan Page's contract. It's a convoluted
Maybe
mess
is that
really
why
makes no
AEW
sense.
sometimes may not be that? They had just too much going on, but
Yeah, they're
like
working hard.
They did the Firm deletion match a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which
That's
was
what had me really
bad.
confused.
It was so
it
bad.
did not go well at all. I did
No.
not enjoy it at all.
No.
It was bad.
But yeah, the whole
Um,
story has just been convoluted and boring.
I think the Guns then. I I
Yeah.
think the Guns go over.
Okay.
I'll take the Hardys.
I'm
I
going
had
with the Hardys.
too.
Yeah, I'll take the Guns.
Okay.
And then, last but certainly not least, what I think is going to be my favorite match of the night is Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho in the unsanctioned match.
Mm-hmm.
I think these guys are going to go to the hilt. I think this is going to be a great.
Sabu is going to be there. He'll be throwing chairs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. There's going to be lots of color. They're going to try and make Jon Moxley proud. So, and I think Adam Cole goes over.
Yep, I'm going with Cole.
Going Cole.
I'll be different. I'll go with the Ayatollah of rock and rolla.
You are the old man of the group.
Okay, I don't
I think
care.
that's why Chris
old
Jericho's
school.
around now.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts on good matches, but I think ultimately it's
And he
to
puts
put
the
over.
young guys
He
over.
does
He
put
does a
the
great
That's
job.
what he knows his role. You know, that's
So-
you know.
Well,
And it's just to tack on to that, Sammy Guevara has not been a part of the JAS through these last few weeks with the whole build to the title match and with the Adam Cole storyline. So it really seems like he's babyface now.
Sammy?
Sammy,
you
yeah.
think he's going to be ringside for the
No,
Jericho match?
I don't
Because
think
he's
so.
not JAS. Got it.
He is JAS last we knew, but he's just
Well,
was a while
couldn't
ago.
that make
Part
for
of
an
the story.
interesting surprise interference at the end where he comes out of
possible.
nowhere, not being around for
It's
a long
not
time?
like in an unsanctioned match. Interference isn't interference. It's
Right.
just part.
Well, you know
of
what
the
I mean?
match.
It's still coming down and like you know you can.
I thought he might be at ringside or walk out with him and then disappear or
No,
something.
I don't think so.
Well, Sammy's
He's
now
been
had.
totally separate for the last
Sammy
several
has
weeks.
his own. I mean, really,
The
he's
main
in a
event-
bigger match than Chris Jericho. Really, technically.
The main event is the Four Pillars match, right?
Right,
That's the
yeah,
last
the
match
world
of the night.
title match
Okay,
is
so
the
then
main
You think the group would be backing Sammy over Chris?
You just reminded me, going back to Night of Champions, there's 3 main events.
Yeah, I intentionally
Oh,
didn't
I
mention
can't
it,
do
but
this anymore.
there's 3 main events. What a crap show.
I can't tell. I
Ridiculous.
really, honestly, I really can't tell if I like any of the writing from either company. WWE doesn't have enough going on, and AEW has stuff that's
weird.
just all over the place. Like,
It's-
can't we find something maybe in the middle
It's like,
where it's a little bit like?
it's like WWE has too much going on, like too much creative control, and AEW is a little too loosey goosey. You get stuff like the firm deletion when you let the talent run with it. You gotta kind of put the bumpers up, kind of be like, no, you're not gonna go to your compound and host a party. Like, I don't know. You gotta kind of keep the talent under control.
So next week we'll see who wins predictions and who loses.
It'll be interesting to see. And I want to tease a little bit here. I am developing an award for worst performer in our prediction contest. I'm hoping to premiere it in preparation for Money in the Bank on July 1st. So just know that we're going to have a little fun with it this week. But
he says this after we made all of our predictions.
no. This doesn't count. This doesn't count. I'm not ready yet. But in a month or so, when it's time for Money in the Bank, you guys will know we will do a, what should I call it, a title unveiling prior to it, a lot like WWE.
You know,
do.
we have a store full of titles. I don't know if you know that.
Not like this one. I guarantee you don't
We're a
have
store
one
of
like this
titles. There's a title for every video game that we do in here.
one. That is...
Pickleball champion. We are known for champions and titles in here.
That is not... This is kind of the... When it
You
comes
don't
to
want the
being a
title?
failure, you're a success. So this is more of what that is. So this is the title.
This might be a callback to our Falls Count Anywhere episode.
Yeah, this might this might be the title that everybody's running from, and one of them ends up getting caught. This might be the grizzly bear of titles. So, well, all that being said, that's all we have time for this week. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please share below what are your predictions for Double or Nothing. What are your predictions for a Clash of Champions? Please
Night of
check out
Champions.
Night of Champions. Please check out Falls Count Anywhere, which drops every Monday on this same place. Of course, follow us on Twitter, Wrestle with Biz. Check us out on Facebook. There's a lot of other stuff that we got going on that are in the works, specifically related to Dan and Adam here. I'll let them tease that when they get ready for it. And of course, join us for the Double or Nothing watch along on Sunday night. Live and in person. And of course,
Living color.
don't forget to check us out Saturday afternoon as well for Afternoon of Champions. We'll be doing a watch along. Be sure to chat with us then. In the meantime, if you keep watching, we'll keep wrestling with the business. Take it easy.